Trump just uninvited South Africa from next year's G20 summit in America because of terrible things happening in South Africa and the South African government perpetuating human rights abuses on white people allegedly randomly taking away their farms, and a whole G word. Yeah. A whole G word apparently being perpetuated on white South Africans at the hands of the South African government. Now, this is hilarious and ridiculous in so many ways, but people are already misunderstanding this and trying to make this something that is just not. So let me deal with all of that quickly, all that you need to know. Forgive the unusual presentation style for me. I have just woken up, but we need to clear this up immediately. So firstly, these are the deluded ravings of a madman who's got no interest in truth, reality, or facts. We know this. Moving on. Secondly, South Africa doesn't get invited or uninvited to the G20. We're a founding member. The founding members just go. They don't get to uninvite South Africa because we were never invited to the G20 in the first place. I guess they could block us at the border or deny our visas, but what an incredible political backlash that would result in. And that goes to the next point. South Africa has just hosted an incredibly successful G20 where the vast majority of world leaders from world economic superpowers, I'm talking the EU, I'm talking India and China and Brazil and so many other places, attended, had a great time, endorsed and loved South Africa, rejected this madman's ravings and affirmed that this madman is wrong about what's going on in South Africa, and committed to a ton of funding and investment and collaboration and trade deals with South Africa. So America's influence over our economy is diminishing all the time, and we are developing new trade networks and relationships and deals with others that will probably mean that we will be fine no matter what stroppy this madman throws at us. Next, now some very foolish South Africans are saying that this is the South African government's fault and we should have placated and persuaded this man to stop these consequences. Except that the whole world knows that you cannot reason with this fool. He is not to be reasoned with. He chooses his own reality, he picks his own adventure, and he gets on with it. And actually, if he's chosen to be against you, there's nothing you can do about it. We've seen this with lots of countries, not just South Africa. I mean, really, what do you think we were supposed to do? Rock up to America and play into his fantasy and pretend that he's right and say, you're so right, we are committing a G word against white South Africans, and we will stop, we pinky swear. That wasn't going to work. He was going to do this anyway. Don't be silly. Don't be foolish. He's not to be reasoned with. There's nothing else that we could have done. And the grand irony of all of this, again, as we've seen with the tariffs, is the fact that the people who have spread this disinformation, this lie that Trump now believes, were allegedly doing it to help white farmers and white South Africans. And ironically, all of these punishments affect those white South Africans really badly. If we are removed from AGOA, it'll affect largely white South African farmers. The tariffs affect largely white South African farmers in the citrus industry. So this whole strategy has backfired so stupendously that the people who convinced him of this nonsense have now caused punishments on